What is going on, Headliner Nation? Welcome to the Week 3 Tailgate Show. That's right, we're wrapping up another week of content here in fantasy football, and now is the time where we can all kick back, relax, and head into the weekend and just enjoy watching some football. Now, like we always do in these shows, we have a lot of different things to talk about, and there are timestamps down below. Hit the like button for some timestamps. We'll be going through some of the end of the week news that's coming here late this week. We're going to be talking about some weather that's, yes, going to impact some games this weekend as well. We have our Pristine auction item to give away. We'll announce our winner from Kyle's video early in the week, the signed Kenneth Walker jersey. We'll be announcing that winner here pretty soon as well. And then we'll have our next episode of Mack and the Medic and this week's Friday Fliers. But let's just go ahead and start where we normally do. Let's talk about end of the week news first, because there's a lot. I even had to make notes. There's so many things to cover here in this show, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but my lips are on fire right now. I ate some chips and salsa before recording. That must have been laced with the devil's taint or something, because my lips are burning right now. Not that you care. I know you probably don't care. That's not why you clicked on the video, but you know what? It's Friday, and we're all just hanging out like a bunch of friends. So anyway, let's talk about some end of the week news. First thing up, Bryce Young. He's going to be out for at least 1 week, maybe even 2 for the Carolina Panthers. Now what that means is we're going to get to see Andy Dalton start once again here in the NFL, and overall, I don't hate that. He should be able to move the ball a little bit better through the air, which could open up some running lanes for Miles Sanders. I know we don't have a ton of fantasy viable options in Carolina, but it is worth noting. Anthony Richardson has yet to clear concussion protocol, and it looks like we're going to get some Minshew mania for the Indianapolis Colts here in week 3. Now, similar to Andy Dalton taking over in Carolina this week, I don't dislike Gardner Minshew at quarterback either. I'm still riding the train of Michael Pittman. What about Kareem Hunt? Back with the Browns, and they've already come out and said that they expect him to play in week 3. Does that mean he gets a full set of snaps? Probably not. If I had to guess, there are going to be some limitations. But we've also seen Kareem Hunt vulture touchdowns from Nick Chubb for years in Cleveland, so could it happen this week to Jerome Ford? Potentially, but as of right now, Jerome Ford's still the RB1 in Cleveland. Christian Watson back at practice, finally. Can we get Christian Watson on the field, please? Now, he is still questionable to play as of right now, but it's a good sign that he's out there at practice. Same thing with Aaron Jones, also at practice, but still questionable for this weekend. They definitely need to get healthier in Green Bay and quickly. Then we also have Jalen Waddle, who was in the concussion protocol all week, was back at practice today in a limited fashion. He has not cleared concussion protocol, but he's following along in the right steps where he has a decent chance of playing this weekend. What about DeAndre Hopkins? He's still not practicing. He's been banged up for weeks. Now he's kind of following the same model as last week. Didn't practice much of it all last week and still played in the game. The problem is he didn't look healthy during the game. So do we really want to risk it this week with DeAndre Hopkins, who is definitely limited? Not as much confidence in starting him as maybe we thought we would have starting the season. What about Jacoby Myers? He's finally cleared concussion protocol. Did not play in week 2, but he is back in week 3. Now, if you watch my start and sit episode on the wide receivers earlier in the week, I mentioned that they're going to have to get rid of the ball quick in Las Vegas. Jimmy G is not going to have a ton of time while that pass rush of the Pittsburgh Steelers is on his arse to start this game. He's going to have to get rid of it quick, which means we can see a lot of short receptions racked up by now Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers in this matchup. What about Joe Burrow? He was at practice once again today in pads, and he was throwing. So it really looks like there's a chance that Joe Burrow continues to gut out this injury. From a fantasy standpoint, we don't love it, right? But on the other hand, we really wouldn't love it if Jake Browning was the starting quarterback. So even Joe Burrow at 60% has to have a little bit more upside in there for us Chase and Higgins owners. Then for the Buffalo Bills, Dawson Knox has returned to practice. I'm sorry, all of you Dalton Kincaid owners out there that were really hoping for a huge week, because it looks like you're going to have Dawson Knox out there as well. Then Cam Akers for the Minnesota Vikings. They've already come out and said probably not going to see him in week 3. They need to give him an added week to come in week 4 and show his inefficiency then. How about Odell Beckham and Justice Hill for the Baltimore Ravens? Neither one of them are going to be playing this week. They're going to be ruled out. A lot of Mark Andrews, a lot of Zay Flowers, and you better believe probably a lot of Gus Edwards as well. But those are the main notes here so far to end the week. But let's talk about some weather, right? Because there are a few games that have a greater than 50% chance of rain that we really need to pay attention to heading into the weekend. The first one up is the Denver Broncos at the Miami Dolphins, where currently it says they have a 70% chance of rain during this game. Now, if you look at the forecast for basically all of Florida, there's a chance of rain every single day. As of right now, this is not one of the situations where I'm like, fully avoiding players in this matchup, but it is a matchup that I'm definitely paying close attention to. It's the weather. It can change 47 times a day. We just need to know what matchups we really need to pay close attention to. This just so happens to be one of those matchups. The other one we're really watching closely is the New England Patriots at the New York Jets. Currently, a 64% chance of rain. Now, when we're talking about both of these teams, it's not like we're talking about high-powered passing offenses, though. We expect a lot of movement on the ground from these teams anyway. So really, when I look at this matchup, I don't see any major fantasy viable options that I'm overly concerned about. I hate saying that, including that Garrett Wilson is a part of this matchup, but we all know with Zach Wilson under center, Garrett Wilson isn't quite as exciting. But what is exciting is giving away free things to you, the community. If you watched Kyle's running back start and sit video here beginning of the week, you saw that he was giving away a signed Kenneth Walker jersey from our friends over at Pristine Auction. So what better time than right now to find out who the randomly selected winner of that jersey was? Kyle, let us know.
Yo, headliners, I told you in my running back start and sit video that I wanted to give away this autographed Kenneth Walker jersey this week, and all you had to do was leave a comment on the video and then make sure you sign up for your free account over at Pristine Auction using code word headliners. And this week's winner, the Camp, who is extremely excited to watch Gibbs and Robinson go up against each other in the Atlanta-Detroit matchup. I'm excited as well to watch that one. But congratulations to the Camp on winning this autographed jersey. Make sure you send us an email, info@thefantasyheadliners.com. Use the email address associated with this YouTube account, and we'll get your jersey out to you right away. Congratulations again.
Awesome, perfect, congratulations, and you better believe we're going to continue doing this each and every week this season. I'd almost be willing to bet that my wide receiver video coming up in week 4 probably gonna have something that we're giving away in it. But you need to be sure that you're eligible for that giveaway when it happens. How do you do that? You need to head over to pristineauction.com. You then need to sign up for a free account. It doesn't cost you anything, but you need to use the referral code headliners when you do so. By doing that, you're gonna be eligible for every one of our future giveaways. I'll set a like goal on whatever video we have the item, and once it's hit, we select a random winner from the comments down below. Just be sure to have your account signed up and ready, because if you don't have one, you can't win the items. But let me be honest with you here, because I know I can't be the only one. In fact, I know of a few people in our Discord that do this as well. As I'm working here at my computer throughout the day, on my other monitor, I always have the homepage of Pristine Auction pulled up. What's on that homepage are some 10-minute auctions. And let me tell you, you can get crazy good deals on all kinds of signed sports memorabilia. It's really easy for people to go into other auctions and make a bid that's gonna be 5 days in the future. They don't have to think about it. Not everyone is there in the moment watching those 10-minute countdowns. I'm telling you, I've gotten signed jerseys that way before for like $35 or $40, so don't miss out on that. Really pull up those 10-minute auctions and give them a try. But now that we're all ready to go for all the items to be given away, how about we throw it over to the Doc and Mac for the next installment of Mack and the Medic.
Yo, what's going on, Headliner Nation? We're back. I'm the Medic. This is Mac. And we're here to talk about some football. And Mac, we got some serious stuff to talk about today. We got to talk about something serious, because Nick Chubb's knee exploded on national television Monday night. And we're both Steelers fans, Mac, and there's a lot of hate going on right now for the Steelers, the defense, Minka, everybody. Everybody is upset about this Nick Chubb injury. So I'm gonna just ask you straight up: dirty play, not dirty play, from a Steelers fan to another Steelers fan?
Yeah, no, I don't think it was a dirty play at all. To be honest, my thing is this: that's what they're taught to do. You know what I'm saying? Any DB, any corner, you ask them, they're taught to hit low. You feel what I'm saying? how would it look for this? Minka's probably 220 going up against a 250-pound rock muscle running back.
I'd say probably 230, but yeah, I mean he's big.
Yeah, well, I guarantee he probably feels like 300 hitting those guys. I mean, Nick Chubb is a monster. So, long story short, man, yes, it was probably a mistake. He may have went too low, but the trajectory and where they go, man, that's just what they're taught. You can ask any DB that. They're taught to hit running backs lower. You know what I'm saying? You can't hit a running back up top. So, and it's unfortunate, but it happened. You know, I hate it for Nick Chubb. I think he's a phenomenal kid and player, but it's just one of those things, man. We've seen it countless times.
Yeah, I tend to err on the side that these guys don't intentionally try to hurt somebody. I'm not going to say that there's not bad blood between the Steelers and the Browns, but I feel like the players don't really buy into the fan dislike of each other. You know, it's pretty rare that you see a player truly. I don't think that Minkah was truly trying to take Nick Chubb out of that game.
No.
If you watch the video, he just kind of hit him just right, and his cleat caught when he got hit, and it basically stopped his foot, and then there was nowhere for him to go. I don't think it was necessarily a dirty play. I can see where people see it because he did kind of dive at his leg, but I'm sorry, man. Like, the rules are leading to more of this. You're not allowed to hit guys up top. I don't think that you're going to see people are getting ejected from hitting helmet to helmet. Right. And when you protect the head in that way, the biggest downfall of that is going to be that you're going to see guys go for the legs. They're going to go for the knees. They're going to go for the legs because that's really the only place they're allowed to kind of hit the way that they want to, the way that they're taught to. And so I don't think it was dirty. I do think that, it was really unfortunate, like you said.
Yeah, very.
Mac, was that the worst injury you've ever witnessed? I mean, or watched? I mean, were you watching it live when it happened?
Yeah, I was, man.
Me too.
It was terrible. It's up there, right?
Yeah.
So in recent memory, two that I witnessed was the Joe Theismann injury.
That's before my time, but
right. Yeah, I'm a little more of age than you are. So, but yeah, so it's a Joe Theismann thing for me, and then also the Paul George injury when he was playing with Team USA. I mean, his leg folded like Kenny Rogers at a blackjack table. It was unreal.
That one was. Both of those were pretty bad. Basketball, especially, there's been a few bad leg breaks. Not as much of the knee. The one I remember was Marcus Lattimore. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
South Carolina running back. He got hit. Really talented kid. Got hit kind of low. Similar type of play. It was in the open field, so it looked worse. But same thing. He got hit. His foot got stuck, and his knee just flopped around. And that's how you could tell. People ask me how, what do you think's going on? When the knee is different from other joints. Once all of the ligaments are torn, or 3 out of the 4 ligaments are torn, there's nothing holding your knee really on, the lower part of your knee up to the upper part. So once you tear all those ligaments, it will literally just hang there. It's just flopping. It's just skin holding it together. And so when I saw that hit and I saw his leg kind of do that, oh gosh, it's just flopping in the wind. Yeah. I knew that it was going to be pretty bad. Where do you think the Browns go from here? Real quick, Mac. Jerome Ford looked great.
Yeah,
he looked really good. They've signed Kareem Hunt. I mean, do you think they're done at the running back position? Think we're just rolling with these two?
Yeah, I think so. And they've got a third guy, that I'm gonna talk about in my Friday Flyers coming up. That he's already on the team, and I think he's gonna do well. It's gonna be a committee. I think it's gonna be more like a 60-40 split between Ford and Hunt. It really just depends on who gets the 60. But Hunt is, he knows the system. Of course, he's been there for a few years, and he's a multifaceted back. He can catch out of the backfield. So I think he can do more than what Jerome Ford can. So it really just depends on how they implement and deploy these guys.
Yeah, well, there you have it. Mac, I appreciate you talking about that because I've been wanting to talk to somebody about Nick Chubb for a while. We got some more topics to get into, but we're going to wrap this up with Nick Chubb and head into the next one. All right, Mac, we just got done talking about some not so fun stuff, but I want to talk about some fun stuff. And if you know me, Mac, you know that I love overreacting to some shit. And so we're 2 weeks in. We got plenty of stuff that we can overreact to, but I want to hear you first, Mac. What's your overreaction? What is your hottest take 2 weeks into the NFL season?
All right. So 2 weeks in, man, I guess my overreaction or surprise and what could potentially be is that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 2-0 and they don't have Tom Brady nowhere in the building. They got Baker Mayfield, and Baker Mayfield right now is playing pretty damn well. Yeah, he's actually in most formats. He's around QB 12. Yeah, I think if they continue on this trajectory, man, they could make the playoffs, and Baker Mayfield could be a top tier quarterback in this league. And it almost pains me to say that because I'm not a Baker fan, but the dude's he's balling.
What do you not like about him, Mac? Was it when he grabbed his nuts on the sideline? Is that what really got you? That took you off?
Not really. I think the biggest thing with me and Baker, so to kind of cut it short, I'm a huge Tyrod Taylor fan, right? So when they drafted Baker, Tyrod's been getting the raw end of the deal for quite some time now. It seems like everywhere he goes, he loses his job to a rookie or something, right? He done it with Baker, Daniel Jones, and Justin Herbert before that. Yeah. But anyway, and then Baker, some things that he had said when he first got there, and he was talking outside of his mouth about Duke Johnson at the time. You don't talk about another man's pockets. You know what I mean? So that just threw me off of him completely. But other than that, he's all right. He makes funny commercials.
Hey, man, I'm learning things because I was not aware that you and Baker had this thing, where you're not really tight on him. Yeah. I didn't know that. For me, I'm gonna stick with the record thing. Mac, I don't know if you know this, but in the history of the NFL, teams that start 0-2 do not make the playoffs 90% of the time.
Wow.
They don't make the playoffs. They don't even get in.
That's crazy.
So for me, my overreaction is there's two teams that I think a lot of people think are really good. I don't think either one of them is going to make the playoffs, and that's the Bengals and the Chargers.
Wow.
Two big-time offenses. Yeah. But there's some things I don't love. First off, I hate the coaches. I don't think these coaches are good. I don't think they're good coaches. And bad coaching will definitely keep you out of the playoffs. Yes. I don't trust Joe Burrow right now. Something's going on with that kid's calf. They're not shutting him down. It sounds like they're going to let him play in week 3. He missed the whole preseason. He looks off in a major, major way. He's not looking sharp. He looked a little better in the second half. I'll give him that. He looked a little better in the second half. But the statistics are he's not played well so far. Jamar Chase, what happened to that kid? Where's he at? He's supposed to be the second best wide receiver in the NFL, and I haven't seen it in the first 2 weeks. No. Now, Justin Herbert, at least the Chargers, they can score. But their defense they're giving up a ton of points, man. I just don't see a way for these two teams. The way they're playing right now, they both look like massive disappointments. The Chargers, and the other thing about the Chargers is we just have to admit they disappoint us every year. So we got to stop pretending like they're going to just magically be something that they're not. The Chargers know how to lose games. They even found a kicker, and they still are losing games. It's ridiculous to me, but the statistics are there, man. It's actually 89% of the time they don't make the playoffs. And so for me, overreaction, Bengals, Chargers. Now they might still score fantasy points. I'm not saying we're giving up on the team as a whole. I'm just saying making the playoffs. I don't think it's happening, Mac. I don't think it's happening.
That's tough, man. Cause I like both of those squads, man. And again, like you said, for fantasy, I think those guys are going to still be okay. Yeah. But real football, you want to see them playing, later in the year. And so it looks like you're right. It is trending that way.
Yeah. One of these 0-2 teams is going to make it, but I would be I would probably pick the Patriots. if it was me.
Yeah.
I think they've played the best the first 2 weeks, even though I don't trust Mac Jones either. But man, I mean, some of these 0-2 teams are really bad, but I am surprised to see those two teams there. But Mac, I appreciate you letting me talk to you once again. Week 3, we're already 3 weeks in, man. Can you believe that? It's crazy.
Rolling, baby.
Crazy. We got big injuries. We got teams underperforming. We got teams overperforming. Falcons 2-0. I thought that was kind of surprising. You know, they're looking good. Bijan looking like the real deal. That dude is legit. Maybe he's the best running back at the end of the year. He's the best running back in the league. Maybe that's my overreaction because he's looking incredible.
It's possible.
But Mac, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you letting me talk to you. We're gonna catch you for week 4 next week. And if you guys are listening to this, we want your comments next week. I think we do. It's time for us to hop in the mailbag. We know a lot of people hop in the mailbag, but you ain't ever get a chance to hop in the mailbag with Mac and the doc. So we're going to let you guys dictate the show. Leave us some questions in the comments. I'll pick my favorite ones and me and Mac will answer them live next week. Well, not live, but on the show next week. And we want you guys to be involved. So let us know if you like this video. If you like what we're doing, just let us know in the comments. We appreciate you guys, but we're going to get out of here. Mac, I'll see you later, buddy.
Peace.
All right, appreciate you, fellas. But now Mac gets to go solo to talk about this week's Friday Flyers.
Headliner Nation, yo, we back again, baby, with the Friday Flyers. Listen, these are people that you can stash away on your bench if you have availability and be able to plug and play here soon in the near future. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, the first player I want to talk about is Pierre Strong Jr. from the Cleveland Browns. So by the time of this recording, we've all heard what happened to Nick Chubb. It was a travesty. Our hearts and prayers go out to Nick and hoping for a speedy recovery so he can get back on the field doing what he does best. Right. So Pierre Strong Jr. is probably third in line right now. They just re-signed Kareem Hunt, and you got Jerome Ford, who was a huge waiver wire pickup this past week. Everybody probably blew their wad pause on the fab for him, and that was good. You know, good reason to do that. But right now with Kareem Hunt, we don't know what the split's going to be. It could be 60-40. Don't know which way it's going to be. So it's going to be some type of committee. But the reason why you want to get Pierre Strong Jr. is because you need a piece of this offense in the running game, because that's one thing that the Cleveland Browns is going to do. They're going to run the ball. So when they acquired him, Pierre Strong, via trade prior to week 1 from the Patriots. So they've already seen his body of work. He wasn't, used heavily back in New England, but he's a north-south runner who's got, good, decent hands. I ain't gonna say elite, but he's got decent hands. So he can fill in a void if, Lord forbid, if something happens to one of these other running backs. So Pierre Strong Jr. is a guy you might want to take a look at. And like I said, just stash him away. All right, next up, I want to talk about Quentin Johnson from the Los Angeles Chargers. So a lot of times when we talk about handcuffs, we typically talk about that position or that term for like running backs. Well, there are times that you want to refer that to receivers as well, especially when you got star receivers in a offense that is pass heavy, which the Los Angeles Chargers, it's a pass heavy offense. That's why they brought Kellen Moore in, right? Well, Quentin Johnson was highly talented early in the offseason. They spent a high draft capital on him, acquiring him, because they want insurance from their big play receivers like Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Let's just be clear. Both of these guys have a tendency to get hurt. It's nothing new about that. We know that, right? That was one of the main reasons they went out and got Quentin Johnson, because of his unique skill set, being able to get vertical, stretch the field, and being able to get those contested 50-50 balls. That's what he does. So having a guy like this on your bench, even if he's not necessarily getting the volume that he needs right now or that you would want, but you want to have him on your bench in the event if one of these guys go down, now you got a plug and play wide receiver 2, possibly a wide receiver 1. All right, next up, I want to talk about Tim Jones from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now listen, Tim Jones, he's a big body receiver. He's about 6'1", about 210, right? So he's a big guy. But the thing is, Zay Jones hurt his knee. Don't know the severity of it as of right now, but he hurt his knee back in Kansas City last week, the matchup against Kansas City. So Dougie P's already came out and said Tim Jones is the next man up. So they run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets. Kirk, really, they're going to get theirs. But the targets that was left on the board or potentially left on the board from Zay Jones, Tim Jones is going to get that. So anytime you get a guy in a high-powered offense who they like to throw the ball, you want a piece of that offense in some form or fashion. And we all know Kirk and really probably been gone, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people have those guys and it's going to be hard to get them. So you want a piece of this high-flying offense. And Tim Jones, he's a plug and play. He could start this week. And it really depends on the severity of Zay Jones's injury. Who knows? Going forward, you could have a potential wide receiver too, just sitting there ready to go. And last but not least, this is an oldie but goodie. And I literally mean old. This dude is older than dirt. But it's Latavius Murray from the Buffalo Bills. So this past week, it just seems like, I guess this dude has catapulted above Damian Harris. So now he is the designated red zone threat. And me being a James Cook owner, as well as probably some of you other guys, you hate to hear that, hate to see touches being, taken away from James Cook, but it is what it is. And you want a piece of this offense who's going to be in the red zone multiple times throughout a game. And if Lat Murray's going to get those carries, you want a piece of that. Again, he's a type of north-south back. He can get those hard yardage. And at the end of the day, like I said, you want that. You want a piece of that action going forward, especially as much as that offense is going to continuously march down the field. And if you can get a guy like that who can get you at least a tub a game, that's big. So, like I said, stash him away. He could be a flex play, going forward. Lord forbid if anything was ever happen to James Cook, his value would, increase exponentially. So it is what it is. Go out there and just stash them away. All right, guys. Week 3, we here. Another round of the Friday Flyers. We're going to have some more guys for you next week. You can check out and plug and play. But until then, everybody, y'all be safe, be blessed, and have a good one.
All right, there you go. That's the Week 3 tailgate show. Hopefully you had a little bit of fun today and really got a chance to sit back, relax, and just look forward to some football this weekend. Now, don't forget, Saturday evenings, 9 p.m. Eastern Time is our main weekly live stream with me and Kyle. Then if you're a member on this channel, which you definitely should be, you get a members-only live stream Sunday morning prior to kickoff so you can get all of your fantasy football questions answered. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here for the day. I'm going to kick my shoes off, kick back, relax, put a nice cold beverage into my hand, and then just watch football for the next couple of days. Hopefully you're able to get a little bit of relaxation in this weekend as well, and good luck in all of your fantasy football matchups. But most importantly, please do your part to make the world a better place.